So, we finally meet each other. This ends today. No! Oh man, this is still haunting me. I needed to do something about it. But first, let me tell you guys the whole story. So, I told you before on another video about growing up on a countryside town, and in a place and time without phones, internet or games. It's so easy to get bored that even a bug eating poop were kind of a show. So it was pretty common to us to find other ways to run around and have some fun. And having fun for some kids means risking their lives. Worth every time. Anyway, another thing that was pretty common in farms was people having dogs to protect their homes. And dogs are one of the happiest things in the world. But if you treat them badly, you can create an awful murder machine. So, where I lived, it had a pretty long street. And in the end of that street, we had a neighbor, which I won't say her name here for legal reasons. So let's call her Miss Smiles. Because, well, she had this huge smile. And I couldn't pay any attention when she talks, because it was so distracting. Anyway, Mrs. Miles had a huge amount of animals. Chickens, turkeys, and pigs. And of course, she had a couple of dogs to protect them. And one in particular was huge. I mean, really huge. It was a black dog with the big arms that looked angry all the time. He looked like Venom from Spider-Man. His breed was called English Mastiff, which is naturally gigantic. I thought it was a pony the first time I saw it. And Mrs. Miles had this rule where she set him free after 10 p.m. to protect her home. So if you were on the streets at this hour, it was on you. She won't be responsible for its acts. Maybe there was some laws that could have prevented her to do that, but anyone cared. It was a small town. So this one day, I was in my cousin's doing some homework, and time flies when we are having fun. That when I look at the clock and realized it was 9:30 p.m. I had to run back home, or else either my mom or the dog would kill me. Usually I got home from there in maybe 20 minutes, so I thought it was no problem at all. But I wasn't counting that the road was a pitch black scenario. You couldn't see shit. So to prevent any mistakes, I walked very carefully. And remember, there were no phones, so no pocket flashlights to save my life. Sometimes I got some lights from the cars that were passing by, but I needed to use this smartly because it was only for 3 seconds each, and it wasn't frequently. So after some time, I was almost home, but I had no idea exactly what time it was, or if it was after 10 p.m. And the last street to get my home was a crossroad, like a T, where Mrs. Miles lived right here. I was here, and my house was there. So I had a kinda risky and reward situation. I was so scared, but I put on a brave face and gave the first step through the darkest dungeon. I also had no idea how I could protect myself if the monster appeared. I thought about using this very old technique that was throwing invisible stones. Have you ever done that? Comment here if you already did. If you haven't, when you see an angry dog, you can pretend to take a stone from the floor and throw it, making the dog flinch. Ha! Gotcha! So, every step was one step closer to the victory, but anything could happen. It's when I heard a scary barking coming from the dark. But I also saw a car coming from Mrs. Miles' farm, and the light of the car drew a shape at the dark. It was the shape of death. So I freaking ran to save my life. I don't know if the dog was really after me, but I felt like I was running a full marathon without ever looking back. But after a while, I decided to taking a sneak peek of what the situation was, and you won't believe it. The dark shadow was right on my leg. Then I fell on the floor, waiting for my destiny. Until the dark figure started to lick in my face, and when Mrs. Miles' car passed close to me, I realized it was my dog. Oh my god, I felt so relieved. And with him, I had no problem facing the dark. He was a dog from the streets, and I saw him as this street fighter who always protected me. That made me think about how much our fears are mostly things we create on our heads. I don't know about you, but I always had this anxiety about the unknown. Sometimes it pulls me away from things I want or need to do. It paralyzes me, where I simply procrastinate my responsibilities to protect myself from facing my insecurities. And it is something I struggle a lot in different situations, which reminds me about the Courage the Dog cartoon, who is scared all the time, shaking even when he talks. But he is the only character who faces his fears all the time. That teaches me that being brave, it's not about living without fears. It is about accepting it and do what you need to do. About that dog, I have other stories about him. Like this one time my dad had no choice but facing him to save a baby. So if you wanna hear more crazy stories, you know what to do. Subscribe and watch my other videos. My channel still is a small channel. Your opinion, like, and comments means the world to me. So if you got here, thank you so much for watching. With your support, I will be keeping doing this for as long as I can. See ya!